Once again, a very good morning, students. In the previous video, we have understood this classification of index numbers as unweighted and weighted in that simple aggregative, simple average of relatives, weighted aggregative and weighted average of relatives. We shall consider one by one these types of index numbers and those formulae which will be very important in problem solving. Just a note is being given here. Try to understand. Generally, index numbers refers to price index number. If it is quantity, it will be specified as quantity index number. Which means, if you are just telling index number, it is nothing but price index number. We need not tell specifically as a price index number itself. Even if it is just told as index number, then it is price index number. By chance, if it is to be told as quantity index number or value index number, it has to be specified as quantity index number itself or value index number itself. Once when generally index number, when you are telling, it refers to price index number. Hope you are following me, students. So one by one these classified aspects we shall consider. Major bifurcation of index numbers, what it was? As unweighted and weighted. In that, first unweighted or simple price index numbers let us consider. Simple aggregative index number. In unweighted or simple price index number, furthermore classification was there. What is that? One is simple aggregative and price relatives. I'm speaking about this. First index number, unweighted and weighted. In that we are considering unweighted now first. In this, once again, simple aggregative and simple average of relatives was present. So first, in the next slide, what we will consider as first classification as unweighted. In that, this one and this one we will learn. And the next specification will be taking as weighted, and these we will be learning. Hope you are following me. Fine. This is unweighted or simple price index numbers. In that, first simple aggregative index number. The name itself tells, look at the cursor, it is simple and it is aggregative index number. See here, just it is written as index number, correct? Once when just index number is being told, what is it being referred as? It is price index number itself. In the previous slide, I have given that note. Fine. This is simple first. That means weights are not being applied. So W will not come at all in this particular concept. And then next it is aggregative. Aggregative is nothing but summation, sum of. That is what is the meaning of aggregation or aggregative. So what is the formula for simple aggregative index number or simple aggregative price index number is P01. As I have already said, just index number, even if it is written also, it is indication of price index number. That's why capital P01. What is this notation? Capital P and subscript as 01. This is price index number. In current year, look at the cursor. In current year as compared to base year. That way, the indication as we already know. This P01 is equal to Since it is aggregative and simple, nowhere W is there because it is simple. Am I correct? If it is weighted index number, W also will appear. So simple it is, so that W is not there, and aggregative it is, that's why summation is present. This is price relative, which we had already studied in the previous video. You can recall, price relative is nothing but P1 divided by P0 multiplied by 100, correct? This is what is price index number. Remember this always. One or current year things will be present in numerator as compared to base year it is. That's why in the denominator you will have all those base year aspects. So this is P01 is equal to P1 divided by P0 multiplied by 100. Since it is aggregative, like summation also is being applied. Hope you are following me, students. So how it is being defined, or how it is being given the explanation? It is aggregate of prices of all commodities. Several commodities may be taken into consideration while calculating index number. For example, an household information is being taken as, like for calculation of index number. There may be several considerations in it. For example, price of the commodities we may take, eatables, whatever it is being brought from the general stores, and price of vegetables it may be considered, and price of educational expenditure it may be considered, price of other miscellaneous expenses it may be considered. All those are different the items which are being considered. Sum of all those items, the price whatever it is applicable, sum of all those prices of different items in current year, that itself is sum of P1. What is P1? Price in current year. Sum, when you are taking different items are there, all those price in current year you are taking as a sum. That's why it is sum of P1 divided by sum of P0. So it is in the sense, this formula is being defined here as a simple aggregative index number. It is the aggregate of, since it is summation, it is being written aggregate of the prices of all commodities in the current period. Is it not? Aggregate, look at the cursor properly, aggregate of all prices of commodities in the current period. This is what is price of commodities in the current year of all items. That's why sum of P1 expressed as the percentage of aggregate of the prices of all commodities in base period. How we have already defined price relative, quantity relative and value relative. In the similar fashion, this is also being defined. So once again I am asking you to observe properly. It is simple aggregative index number. That's why W is also not there, and only with the summation it is present. P1 by P0 is common factor everywhere. In the concepts to come, in the formulae to come in future, in the chapter, we will have the same ratio as P1 divided by P0 initially. So next, simple average of relatives. Now we are considering. Look at this. So unweighted we have considered. In that simple aggregative we have already learnt. Now we will be considering simple average of relatives. Simple average of relatives now we are considering. In that, the average may be a arithmetic mean or geometric mean in our considerations. Simple average of relatives. This average may be in an arithmetic mean or geometric mean under our considerations. Fine. The unweighted, because it is simple, right? Look at the cursor always. Since it is simple, we are writing it as unweighted or in bracket simple. First, this average, let it be replaced as arithmetic mean. This average, let it be replaced as arithmetic mean of relatives. Index number is the same. So the same heading in different way, by replacing this average to be arithmetic mean, we are writing here. That is P01, price in current year as compared to base year, is equal to sum of P divided by N. Usually X bar as the arithmetic mean, we know it is sum of X divided by N once when X is considered as a variable. Here P is being considered as a variable just because it is price index number. That's why it is sum of P divided by N. Then what is that P? Look at the heading of relatives, it is present. Correct? Relative in the sense we have already come across. P1 divided by P0 multiplied by 100 is nothing but price relative. That's why this P has to be replaced as P1 by P0 multiplied by 100. That's why where this capital P is equal to, this capital P is equal to P1 divided by P0 multiplied by 100, that is capital P is price relative. Look at the heading, it is simple, correct? Simple. That's why W or a weight is nowhere be seen in this formula. This is average. First it is considered as arithmetic mean, that's why divided by N you are getting as sum of P. Of relatives it is, that's why this P is nothing but, capital P is nothing but P1 by P0 multiplied by 100. According to the headings, we will have the concept as well as the formula. We have to very keenly observe. Then secondly, the average, let it be replaced by geometric mean. In the first one we had written as arithmetic mean. Now we will be writing it to be geometric mean. This is unweighted or a simple index number itself. See how we have written earlier with the arithmetic mean, sum of P divided by N, that much only we had written. And geometric mean formula we know from the previous year. That means in first PUC we had central tendency chapter. In that arithmetic mean, geometric mean and a harmonic mean we had come across. And those formulas also we are very well familiar. There geometric mean was antilog of sum of log x divided by n when it was x was considered as variable. Now here capital P is a variable as price. That's why this is antilog of sum of log x was there earlier, but instead of x, P will be here replaced. So sum of log P divided by N. And obviously this capital P is nothing but P1 divided by P0 multiplied by 100, because it is geometric mean unweighted or simple index number of price relatives. The heading itself is like that. That's why, like, here this capital P is equal to P1 multiplied by, P1 divided by P0 multiplied by 100. That is, capital P is equal to price relative. So next it will be weighted price index numbers. Go back and understand what we are following. This classification. So weighted, both of these we have considered already now. Now we are shifting to, in terms of unweighted, we have considered these two already. Look at the cursor. These two already we have considered. Now we will be going in terms of weighted index numbers. So this weighted index numbers, let us learn in the next class, students, because this is not a small concept. So easily it cannot be completed. It will take at least 15-20 minutes of explanation to complete weighted index numbers, so that in the next class we shall consider weighted index numbers classification. Now today we have understood unweighted index numbers, in that simple aggregative and simple average of relatives. Hope you are following me, students. Practice is only way left out after understanding the concepts. Here you will be able to understand the concepts and the explanation of it. You need to go through once again the textbook, read it once and try to understand how much it is possible. And the next time once again you read it, the better you understand than the previous. Once again you can read it thoroughly, you will be able to understand it. Till you understand completely the concepts and the relative study of it is very clear to you, comparison, this step what it is, or the further step, or the previous method what it was, this method how it changed, what are the notational differences, what are the conceptual differences for the previous method to this method. Unweighted means what, weighted means what, if it is unweighted, simple aggregative, what it is the difference, if it is simple average of relatives, what is the major difference. All those ways, the criticism of your understanding, you by yourself you may have to do, and cross check your understanding by yourself with applying the twists in between. Try to tell to your own self, then only it can be understood very well. So as I've said, weighted index numbers let us consider in the next video class to come. Thank you so much. Take care.